Hello and welcome to the Craft Witch Corner where I yap and craft. My name is Dex, my pronouns are he, they. If this outfit and look is familiar to you, that would be because I'm wearing exactly what I was wearing in last week's video. Batch filming. I just wanted to address it because, I don't know, I felt a little bit weird about not saying anything. So yes, I am filming multiple videos in a day because I am trying my very best to keep on my schedule of posting every Sunday at 3. Today's video is going to be all about me building an inner child altar. I have been working with my therapist for a while now on a lot of different trauma-related things, but I have recently been tasked with doing some inner child healing. I do want to say I think that it is most important and just much safer if you are doing any kind of shadow work, inner child healing, any of that stuff alongside therapy. It can really bring out some very hard things that are just a lot easier to deal with and address alongside a professional. I understand not everyone can afford it, not everyone has the money, but please be safe and do what is going to be best for you and your mental health. So again, my therapist has tasked me with doing some inner child stuff, and I decided that it was a good time for me to build an inner child altar. My regular working altar is full. She's full. There's not space for more stuff on there. And I don't really want my inner child stuff to be just a part of my regular altar. I do want it to be separate and kind of its own thing. I want it to be able to be something I can come to in a very different way. I don't know how to explain it, but this is going to be a very different kind of altar than I normally have or normally would build or use. So let's talk about that. This is my inner child altar. The reason I am storing my inner child altar in a bag rather than having it out in a space is because I don't think I will be coming to the altar in just one place. I would like to be able to take it with me, especially now that it's spring and the weather is getting nicer. There's a park right by my house, and I am also working through agoraphobia stuff. I would like to be able to do some of this stuff in different places. I want to be able to do it at my desk. I want to be able to do it in this little hidey hole space behind my couch. I want to be able to do it at my couch. I want to be able to take it to the cemetery and do some stuff there. I want to be able to take it to the park. So having it in a bag is just, for me, the most efficient and effective way to have the altar. Let's talk about each item and why it is a part of my altar. Item number one I have pulled out from here is my emotional healing socks. I think these socks are going to be a very important part of this altar for me, especially as I, like many other people, had a very traumatic childhood. For my inner child work, I definitely need some magical healing help. This is my emotional healing spell bag. I probably need to recharge it pretty soon. I don't charge things on a regular schedule. I just kind of like feel, can I still feel the energy? And I definitely can, but I probably still should recharge this pretty soon. The next item is, this is technically a grimoire, but let me just look. I don't even know how many pages I filled out. Not that many. Well, oh, more than I thought. Okay, I guess it's about half. This is everything I filled out, and this is everything I haven't filled out. I am no longer using this grimoire. A beautiful grimoire, by the way. I hope you can see. It's like actually insane. And it has this little, wow, so fancy. I got it from the local witchy store near me. I just haven't been using it. I've been using my other grimoires, and I'm not really planning on using it anymore. But I don't want this to go to waste. It was also pretty expensive. It is fucking leather bound. I don't want it to go to waste. So I am going to use this to document any meditations that I do, any realizations I come to, and also write some inner child healing poems, songs, whatever. Gonna fill up the rest of it with that. Obviously I need a pen, so just a regular pen. Then I have my poppet. This is a poppet that I made. I'm sure you can tell. Not perfect in any way. Beautiful, and I love it. This is a puppet that I made specifically for emotional healing. This is my puppet's little tarot deck. It's Tarot of the Owls. This reminds me there's something else I'm gonna need to grab for this. I have obviously this tiny little, teeny tiny little tarot deck for my puppet. And it's freaking gorgeous, incredibly beautiful. Big fan. I did actually buy it just for my puppet so that I could give it like as a gift to my puppet. I also bought a little tiny, it's the tiniest little journal for my puppet. Then I have some cute little fidget toys. A lot of people don't like the clicky ones, but I really like them and my littles really like them. Littles being the alters that are kids. So I think this will be good for inner child stuff. I also have this. It is a chainmail fidget toy and I don't use it very much because usually the kind of fidget toy I need is something a little more specific because I'm doing it while I'm editing or while I'm in therapy. I will not use loud fidgets while I'm in therapy or in a conversation with someone because it feels like rude and it also just makes me uncomfortable. I don't think it's rude when other people use loud or fidget toys that makes any kind of noise, but it's definitely just something for me. It's like an inner, I don't know, it just makes me feel anxious. But I think for some inner child stuff it'd be cute, and also these are definitely like inner child fave colors for me, light blue and light pink, so that. I have just this little, he almost fell on the ground. It's just a little squishy paw. I normally don't use it that much because it gives your hands a little bit of a film. I think it's really cute and I think for inner child stuff it'll be nice. The final little fidget is this tiny little guy. I got this from a, oh my gosh, I don't even think I've addressed the hat. I'm going to address the hat because it's related to what I'm about to say about this little guy. So the hat, favorite hat, big fan. I'm not usually a big hat person, but there was recently a fair, like a very small fair in my local downtown. And there was like a ton of people. They all had their own little booths and they were selling all kinds of stuff. I also got this necklace. Where are you? I also got this necklace. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it at all, but it's a little fox. In the back is some trees. This was my absolute favorite thing. Somewhere I will put the maker of the hat because she deserves all the fucking hype. She was so sweet, so nice. I also bought like a little mushroom hanging charm thing from her that is on my bag. It is so cute. As we were leaving, I'd already bought all my things. The fair had ended already and we were just like leaving. And there was just this little guy who I had wanted to buy one of these, but I couldn't really justify it with, I had a certain amount of money I could spend and I wanted to make sure I could get the other things like this that I really wanted. So I didn't end up buying them and then the fair ended. As we were walking back home, found the little guy, somebody dropped him, which I'm so sad and devastated for them. Wow, this motherfucker's a little dusty. I'm gonna have to vacuum you. This guy's a little bit dusty because he's been sitting on a table for a while, but this is a stuffed animal. I love stuffed animals now. I loved stuffed animals as a kid. They make me feel safe and comfy. Sorry if you can hear weird plane sounds. Ugh, so many loud things happening. But my best friend bought this for me as a present and I love him. Originally he was on my altar for my glow up, but I haven't really been doing the more magical things of my glow up. I'm just continuing to stay consistent with the mundane actions. I decided that I was gonna take this guy and put him in my inner child altar instead because it just felt right. Then I have a blanket. I'm not gonna unfold it because I really don't feel like unfolding it, but this is a very small blanket that has cute little things on it. When I first got my cat, who no longer lives with me sadly, but he's very close and I can visit him fairly regularly, so it's okay. But when I first got my cat, me and my sibling got our cats together. We bought them these blankets so that we could hold them and keep them cozy and comfy in the car on our way home with them. It makes me think of my little baby kitten who I love so much. And it's also big enough that it's a functional blanket, but small enough that it like fits in a bag and is not like overwhelming. The final items in my inner child altar are this mixed media sketchbook thingy. I have only done one so far. This was my first attempt at using these supplies, and I recognize it's not great, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And I made it at my best friend's birthday when we were hanging out at a lake, so it has like happy feelings for me. These are the watercolors. They are just watercolors, nothing too exciting, but to me it's very exciting. Instead of just regular brushes, I got these, like, they hold water in them and then you push it and the water comes out and it's just cool. I have always loved creative pursuits. I loved painting of all kinds, especially watercolor painting when I was a little kid, and I think that this will be a really good activity I can do with my inner child to just kind of like heal a lot of stuff. Painting specifically is also a pain point for me because of someone in my life who was very into painting, who sparked that love within me for painting that I do not have a good relationship with. So I feel like painting with my inner child is a fantastic place to start in the process of healing some of those childhood wounds for me and just the impact that my trauma and my family has had on me and like where I'm at now. So I have this in here as well. I honestly might go to the park today to do some of this stuff because it is such a nice day and it's still only just after 2 p.m. so still have a lot of the day ahead of us. I might do that because I think it will be a lot of fun. Minus the Poppet journal, which I hope I'll be able to show. That is everything that was already ready. I'm gonna put everything back and then we're gonna have a chat. More of a chat, I guess. The last 3 things that I'm going to be adding are some lavender, some rose, and dandelion seeds. I would be adding fresh dandelion flowers. Well, not fresh, but like the dried flowers, but my flowers are still hanging to dry over there. I am also going to be putting each in these 3 little bottles. I'm hoping for the best that they won't come uncorked randomly in the bag, but if they do, it's just these, like, it won't be a big deal. I can like easily handle that and deal with it. I also don't have the right size funnel, so I'm just gonna have to do my best not to spill everything everywhere. I don't even know if this is a good idea for these, but we'll just see what happens. Okay, I've just gotta... It's a nightmare, whatever. Okay, so for this is not gonna work. I'm just gonna have to painstakingly place them in here. Well, that's fine. Yep, and then I'm just gonna get them everywhere and everything will be fine. I love dandelions. I have always loved dandelions. When I was a kid, I would pick the yellow flowers and put them in a tiny little vase and give them as a gift to my mom. I think that's absolutely adorable. I've never understood why people hate them or are like, ew, it's a weed. Could not ever be me. I love them. They're also great for like a lot of healing stuff. Dandelion root as well as leaves. Fantastic. You can also make cordage out of the stems. I will be doing that, hopefully, this year if I'm able to collect enough. But we will see what happens. They're also obviously great for wishes, but the way that I use them the most, I think, in my practice, apart from wishes, it's definitely wishes. I think they are fantastic for inner child stuff. I think for really anyone, because like a lot of kids did the whole wishing on the dandelion thing, but also specifically for me because I loved dandelions so much as a kid. It really makes sense for me personally to use them in an inner child healing kind of way. Also, I just think they're fucking magical, and how could you not love dandelions? It really actually doesn't make sense to me that people hate dandelions. I think that's so silly. I collected these dandelion seeds last year. Yeah, last year from the backyard of where I was living at the time. Full of dandelions, by the way. My goodness. It was incredible. And I have still this entire jar of dandelion seeds. So we are rich in dandelion seeds for the time being. I can't really imagine this running out anytime soon. Like, even in the next few years, I just think I'm gonna have these for a while. That's probably all I can fit. I am not doing anything to... Oh, that was loud. I'm not doing anything other than having them in this bottle, so that's why I'm not being too careful. Normally, if I'm making an oil or an infusion or some kind of something like that, I will make sure I have just washed my hands and, you know, I'm more cleanly about it. But this is just to look at, and these other two are just to look at and smell, so I'm not worried about it. Rose is fantastic for emotional healing. That is actually one of the very specific things that the spirit of Rose communicated with me. Of course, everyone's experience and relationship with plant spirits is going to be different, but oh, I love Rose. It's definitely more of a subtle smell because it's so small, but that's okay. There is my little tiny bottle of Rose. I love Rose for emotional healing. I also find it to be a very strong protective herb as well. So we're carrying in that emotional healing, but also that protection, particularly protection from myself, because I do have a tendency to be very self-critical. And in this process, I just want to be as self-loving as possible. I want to give my inner child all the love and feelings of safety and comfort that I was definitely missing as a child. So there's that. And then we're gonna add some lavender, which is probably my favorite. I haven't actually started to properly fully work with the spirit of lavender, but it is, I would say, the herb that I have worked with the most in my practice. Ooh, okay. Ooh, did a little too much in there. That's okay. Man, I love lavender. There is my tiny little bottle of lavender. For me, I love lavender. I have always loved lavender. I do understand for some that it is a bit much of a smell. I totally get that and respect that. But for me, I love it. I feel like it just instantly helps me calm down and all of that. But I also heavily associate it with Loki. And Loki for me is a very, I hesitate to say parental, but also like parental figure. I don't know how to explain it. They're very mother to me. They are giving very mothering, nurturing vibes. They are very protective in a very like emotionally protective way. When I'm really anxious, I call on them and I ask for their peace and their protection and to feel calm, and I just feel them kind of like wrap their wings around me and hug me and hold me. I think that energy is definitely something I need going into this inner child healing shit. So there you go. That is that. If I do decide to go on a little trip to the park to do some inner child stuff, I will absolutely bring you along. So those are all the things that I'm including in my personal inner child altar. I am super duper curious what you're going to add to your altar if you make one, or if you already have one. I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment, and please subscribe if you want to see or hear more from me in the future. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay crafty and stay kind. Bye.